way today is getting people to believe great replacement theory. And can I tell y'all a quick story?
Yeah.
So, in 1767, I'm an historian, I'm sorry, I gotta go back in time. In 1767, there was this French Enlightenment philosopher. His name was Joseph Michel Antoine Servan. He was speaking to the French king. He called on the French king to institute a more effective system of control than iron and steel in torture. He said, a fool despot can constrain slaves with chains, but a true politician binds them much more strongly by the chain of their own ideas. Did y'all hear that?
Yes.
You want me to say that again?
Yes.
A full despot can constrain slaves with iron chains, but a true politician binds them much more strongly by the chain of their own ideas. And so in 2026, those ideas that these true politicians are using to bind us are our racist ideas, are our sexist ideas, are our transphobic ideas, are our ableist ideas, are our homophobic ideas, are our classist ideas, our anti-Semitic ideas, our Islamophobic ideas, our xenophobic ideas. And this is the quote that I got the title for my book, Chain of Ideas. Because despair and time eat away at the links of iron and steel, Servan added. But it can do nothing against the habitual union of ideas, and on the soft fibers of the brain is found the unalterable basis for the firmest empires. And so, black folks, we call this mental slavery. The chain of ideas in the United States today, providing the unalterable basis for the empire of Trumpism, is great replacement theory. Going again back to France, this racist theory was named by a French novelist named Renaud Camus in a political speech he gave in 2010 and published a year later. He told this story of being in a town in southern France and noticing Muslims of North African descent nearly exclusively at the windows and thresholds, he said, of these very old houses and the lengths of old streets. During Camus' visit, immigrants from Africa were no more than 4% of this town's population. And yet, those facts did not square with Camus' story. Just as today, 86% of Americans were born in the United States. But you would never know that if we were looking at the news and listening to these politicians. You would never know that 91% of people who live right now in the European Union were born in the European Union. But you would never know that if you were listening to a Le Pen in France, or Wilders in the Netherlands, or Farage in the UK, all of whom are closely allied with Donald Trump. So this guy Camus claimed, based on 4% of people being in this southern town, that during our lifetime, and even less, he wrote, France was in the process of changing a people. We see one, he wrote, we take a nap, and then there's another, or many others. Most of the newcomers who were coming to southern France at the time were white migrants coming from Spain, Portugal, Denmark, the UK, Ireland, and the Netherlands. But Camus did not lament their presence in these very old houses. He did not lament their presence on those very old streets. He did not have a problem with them practicing a different culture, speaking a different language. Because to Camus, these white immigrants did not signify that the country was changing. Because to him, just as in the United States, Trump welcomes white South African migrants.
Yes.
They belong, apparently, in the United States, while African Americans apparently don't. While apparently Latino immigrants don't. Or Palestinian Americans don't. Do you remember when Trump said those 4 congresswomen of color, 3 of whom were born in the United States, can go back to their corrupt and crime-riddled country? Do you remember when he said that? All the while, he is the son of 2 immigrants. For those of you who may not know, his mother immigrated from Scotland in 1930, and his father was in his mother's womb when she migrated from Germany in 1905.
His father was a draft dodger.
So Trump wants white Americans to believe that they are being replaced by peoples of color so that the king can dominate them and the rest of us in the name of security. So the king can demand their obedience in the name of security. So the king and his oligarchs can exploit everyday white people and the rest of us and cause them to think that they're losing out because of black people, because of Muslims, because of immigrants, which then allows the oligarchs to continue to exploit them because they're completely distracted. Pushing this great replacement theory that has spread around the United States and frankly around the world, it is animating the Trump administration's politics. And Camus, I want you to listen what Camus said in 2011 and think about how this directly connects to the ideas of this administration. He said in 2011 that a nation of many peoples, of many religions, of many cultures is bound to be a hellish society. He commended old French kings for putting all their care and sometimes their brutality in avoiding the hell of diversity. The kings, according to Camus, knew by their instinct that nothing would come for it. Nothing could come for diversity, but misfortune for individuals and weakness from the state. Because, Camus argued, peoples that remain peoples cannot join other peoples. He said they can only conquer them, overcome them, or replace them. But I came to tell you, Charlotte, and I'm wrapping up, that there's another way for us to think about humanity. There's another way for us to think about our politics. We don't have to think, we don't have to be misled into believing that racial and ethnic and religious and cultural groups are fundamentally separate, that they're fundamentally at political war, and that that other group is coming to destroy us. There's a way to break from this chain of ideas. That's great replacement theory. And that is, we must recognize once and for all what I call the chain of humanity. We must recognize once and for all the chain of humanity. And we can liberate ourselves from the ideas that fetter us by recognizing what binds us as human beings. There are different links in this chain of humanity. There are different skin colors, different cultures, different genders, different nationalities, different sexualities, different levels of ability. But all these links are interconnected to form the human chain that stretches across states, across borders, across oceans, across mountain ranges, and across deserts. What strikes one link ultimately strikes every link. What strengthens one link ultimately strengthens the entire human chain. And only through recognizing the chain of humanity can we finally join together and defeat the oligarchs and authoritarians who have relentlessly and consistently divided and conquered us. Only through recognizing our chain of humanity can we build an anti-racist democracy out of the ashes of Trumpism. Are y'all ready to create those ashes? Are y'all ready to create those ashes? Are y'all ready to create those ashes? Thank you so much.